Okay, so it is a lovely good morning to all of you tuned in to your number one news and talk radio station, the voice of development, of course, Millennium Radio. It is. We're broadcasting from 90.5 FM in Lusaka, 93.5 FM, that is in Kabwe, 93.9 FM in Kapiri, and of course 100.1 FM, not forgetting the Copper Belt. Those are the various frequencies that you are getting us on this particular morning on Millennium Radio, the voice of development. So this is a Funsani radio program. And of course, the Funsani radio program, of course, gets to also dive into issues with regards to the plight of young people. Those are some of the things that we get to dive into on this particular program. So it comes every Friday at 10 hours. Apologies that we started a little bit late, but I'm sure I'll be able to go even further so that we can have the match time that we are supposed to have. I'll be your host this particular morning. My name is Kalunga Mukulangoma Mwape. We'll be taking you through all the way to the hour of somewhere around 11 there. So, recently, the government did pronounce that businesses can now start operating 24/7. So it is now policy our 24-hour economy, which I think for quite a number of years has been a topic under discussion. Economists have been talking about this, and then now it is a reality. There was a policy pronouncement from the government recently that business can actually start doing that. And then, according to the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, this will be done in phases. We know that they're about to lift even the ban that was the night travel ban that was imposed on buses as well as trucks. So we expect some of these things to, begin to unfold. But what are the benefits that lie in as far as this 24-hour economy is actually concerned, especially for young people themselves, who are the majority in terms of the population? And when you go to the living conditions monitoring survey that was done by the Zambia Statistics Agency in collaboration with different stakeholders, it did indicate that our unemployment levels in the country are way too high. Apart from that, the working population has continued to increase while there are limited opportunities. And now we have this pronouncement, this policy that somehow intends to create these opportunities according to the government. This is what we'll be getting to dive into this particular morning. Interesting enough, I have a guest that among the candidates, when I look at the candidates that we have that are vying for the top job in 2026, which is August this year, most of them will pronounce themselves to be I'm young, but I can definitely say that one of them that I have, or the one that I have in the studio, is definitely more on the younger side of leadership as compared to the many others that we do have in the race that is coming in August 2026. I do have the leader of the Democratic Union Party, Mr. Ackim Ndjobvu. Mr. Ndjobvu, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kalunga. I hope you have a good day this far, and greetings to our listeners out there.
Okay. I'll start with the DP, and then just before we came in here, I was asking about mobilization because we're going to the elections. And recently, I did saw a news item which was actually indicating that you are ready to participate at all levels.
Yes.
Councillor, mayor, council chairperson, member of parliament, as well as the presidential.
Yes.
How is the mobilization going so far?
This fight is going on well. We are making progress each day, and we are happy and excited that we will be participating in the general elections. So we look forward to the general election. We just pray that it will be free and fair, so that when UPND loses to Democratic Union, there won't be any complaints. I've seen they are mobilizing quite a number of judges that have been appointed.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they are aware of the result, so they want to find a way of fighting, and I hope that's not the case. So we are looking forward to a free and fair general election, I think so that the Zambians can make a decision, because Zambians usually make decisions through the ballot. Okay. We're a peaceful nation, we love peace, so we usually make our decisions in the ballot. So we are looking forward to the general election. As the Democratic Union, we are so excited Yes.
Okay. I before we get into the 24-hour economy again, I would ask, because there have been assurances from the president of free and fair elections from the ECZ.
Yes.
And just how do you look at the process leading up to the election? Do you think there has been a lot of transparency, accountability, fairness that will ultimately result in what you want, calling for a free and fair election?
Okay. Unfortunately, it's worrying because if you look at the process starting from last year, we saw the constitution amended in a way that I think that was there was some resistance from the citizens of the citizens. And then we have seen now the Electoral Process Act also being enacted at a speed that we've never seen. We've only remaining with a month to dissolve Parliament, but we see quite a number of policies that are being drafted and presented to Parliament within a shortest possible time. But if you are to look at even just the statements that the president made, I'm sure you heard last time where he said, I dribbled through Bill 7, and there was one news item which was saying if we hadn't passed Bill 7, we would have lost. So all those are statements that are worrying to any sober citizen. He should be worried if the president can be making such statements. But again, if you look at the electoral process bill, we have issues that are quite sensitive in there. One of them is the removal of the stamp, the official stamp on the ballot paper. What does that entail? For some of us who are very analytical, we look at that as a process of trying to manipulate the whole electoral process. Because if you have a ballot paper that has got no official stamp, it means that there's room for manipulation. You can just go kumatero kuja wendo pangisa ballot paper, then waifaka mu system vantu swazaziba kali be official stamp. So those are fears, especially for me. My fear is that maybe in rural areas, there are certain rural areas where only helicopters reach. What will happen if you have got ballot papers that have got no official stamp? Then there will be room for manipulation, especially from those areas. So we don't want contention after the results are announced, because there would be contention. Imagine you have got a polling station in the rural area where you've got only 1,000, then you discover that the results that have been announced are 10,000. So there will be those issues that we have to be wary about. Okay. So definitely we are worried about the many things that are happening. We've seen a number of pronouncements from ECZ, and also the recent appointment of one of the UPND cadres appointed to ECZ as a commissioner. So all those, I think, are things that do not give us the comfort. There's been talk from the political parties to say even the ECZ chairperson is a party sympathizer. So why should they lead ECZ? ECZ needs to be led by very independent minds, at least people we can perceive to be independent. Then that way I think it gives confidence to us, the players. So I think there are quite a number of issues that we are worried about. Sometimes we just ask God, only you can help us, because you look at the steps that the party in power is taking. I think it's quite worrying. Even if they make those assurances at my elections, Yazankala free and fair, we doubt because of the many things that are happening. Okay. We don't know what will come out of the Electoral Process Act. There could be restrictions for other candidates. One of the issues I'm sure we talked about was the issue of being an office bearer at the Register of Society, which is, I think, raising eyebrows. So we don't know what will come out in that Electoral Process Act. We don't know whether it will be a fair piece of legislation, but we are yet to see. But I'm worried that they haven't given Parliament enough time to look at these bills that have been sent to Parliament. We've got about 15 bills right now sitting in Parliament, and Parliament is only remaining with about a month. So are they going to do a good job? Why should we rush the legislator, not give them enough time to look at these bills? Why are we rushing? Usually when you are rushing a process, it means there are hidden things that you don't want people to notice, so that they just approve them. Yeah. So ndiye mafias yameti nayo natukwatako tu mafias and our fears, I believe, tuliko genuine. Okay. So we hope the parliamentarians will pay much attention to these things. Let them do everything for the good of the country, not for their good. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting to know that. I wanted us to put that away so that at least we're heading into the in the election year, and of course we hear from you as a DU as how you make of what is happening in the political landscape. Let's go to our topic now, which is the 24-hour economy. First, I want to start with how would you describe the current economic situation in the country?
Okay, so if you look at this current economic situation, and if you interact with the people in the communities, the country is in a very bad situation. The cost of living is high. Remember the food basket that was released recently, the cost is at 12,000.
12,000, gotcha.
Yeah, coming from 2021, we're talking about when the UPND took office, it was around 6,000, now it's at 12,000, so it has doubled. So our remuneration, our salaries doubled. So all those are issues that we need to ask ourselves, because when the cost increase, you expect also the income to increase. So it's very challenging for most of the citizens in our country. Most of them are struggling to put food on the table. It's really a bad time for us, and we are surprisingly, we've made some economic gains, what we would call economic gains. Yes, we talk about inflation reducing to 7.1% in March. And then we talk about the exchange rate also dropping from 29 where it was to about 19 where it is today. But we can't see that improvement or reduction in terms of the price of commodities and other essential products that we buy for our homes. So there's this mismatch. So sometimes when you sit on a table as an economist, you explain all these nice things, the gains yameneya panga country. But bantu muswaimvera impact pa pocket, swaimvera impact pa mala. Then people begin to wonder, to say, are these the same lies that you've been preparing from the time we elected you? Or you just trying to put things in a cosmetic way that to show that you have performed when you haven't. So these are challenges that are there, but it's very hard for most people on the ground. I'm sure if you open the phone lines, you will hear if people will be honest enough to tell you how hard it is out there. Yes. Okay.
At the backdrop of what you have given, the government has come up with an initiative to implement a 24-hour economy.
Yes.
We're coming from a load shedding where a lot of businesses had really been affected, negatively affected. Some of them shut down. Talk about barbershops, talk about salons.
Yes.
Now the government has stabilized power, and then they're now implementing the 24-hour economy. Let's talk about the 24-hour economy in itself. When you heard this pronouncement, what really first came into your mind, and what did you make of it?
Okay, I welcomed the idea. For me, I was looking at the positive side.
Okay.
When they announced that, I said, okay, this is a good move. I remember some time before I joined politics full-time, I was the chief financial officer. Sometimes you knock off because you've been busy, you leave your office, when you go to the shops, find that they have closed. So announcing a 24-hour economy, for me, it was a good thing. That means it allows us to have some extra time to do other things that we need to do away from our busy schedules. But overall, looking at the country's progress and development, a 24-hour economy will allow us to grow our GDP. Then also it will allow us, I think, to create more employment opportunities for the Zambians out there. Not only those who have got no employment, but even for those who have employment. You can decide to take another job. We just need maybe to look at the labor laws to ensure that they allow us to have double jobs. Yes, so those are things that we need to look at. So I looked at the positive. Our GDP will grow because we have more production, we have more services being produced in 24 hours than the standard 8 hours that we used to have. So that's the positive that I focused on. But I know there are a few recommendations that are pointed out to the government to say you need to do this, you are not ready. I commended them, but I told them that you are not ready because there are a number of key issues that you have to address. And the same day it was announced, you remember Ratsas wrote something
quickly.
On the, quickly said it's still ready, and the ban Yama public service transport is still on. So, and that is one of the critical issues ziwa Kalunga. Ngati mabasi sazambo yenda usiku, then muzaenda bwanji kutauni, muzaenda bwanji kunshito. All those are issues I think that are critical. But I welcomed the idea because I was focusing on the positives to say what are the positives from this 24-hour economy. Yes.
Okay. I mentioned barbershops because majority of the age group that we have are young people. Saloons, we have young people and all those things. And then for an economy to be productive, you need that agent. How do you think young people should position themselves to benefit from this 24-hour economy in terms of them being productive? And what are some of the incentives should government equally put in place to ensure that they meet halfway with the young people so that they can be able to benefit from this?
For me, Kalunga, what is very important is the government, they can do the honors of helping the young people, because this poses an opportunity for startups. Startups, if you have got a 24-hour economy, that means you've got a certain portion of hours that is just free. So you need to look for capital. You have some idea that you can implement and be able to benefit from this 24-hour economy. So how should government respond to this which it has provided? For me, it's to increase the allocation in CDF. There's been a lot of noise in terms of CDF's achievement, but we have said several times that CDF is not a game changer. It doesn't achieve the desired results. But what I would urge, like what we are planning from the Democratic Union, is that we are going to increase the empowerment amount from the current 8 million. We are going to increase it to 100 million. Because when we increase it to 100 million, it is going to cover a lot of youths, it's going to cover a lot of women and other marketeers. Because the 24-hour economy, you're talking about a market now that is operating 24 hours. Yeah, yes. I was in Cheston. If you go to Cheston Market, the marketeers there, I think, leave the market at 20 hours. So with this 24-hour economy, I'm sure they'll be leaving some at 02. But then they need to have more capital, because there will be traffic, high traffic. People want to stop coming to the market. But where are they going to get the extra capital to deploy in their businesses? So government increase the CDF. Unfortunately, one of the reasons why we've struggled to see much benefit from CDF is that the government doesn't have money. Earlier in the year, we saw one of the members of parliament who was asking the Minister of Finance that, Minister, motivation yanu imachokela kutioshta increase the CDF every year. Onani hapa mwatipasa chabe 4 million. But you're supposed to give us 40 million. So where is the motivation? And the minister was struggled to respond to that. So the government, these amounts which the government, the president announces are just political, but realistically these monies are never given to the constituencies. We know quite a number of projects that haven't progressed because the government has given them money. And for me, Vakalunga, 40 million is a lot of money if deployed in a constituency. We are able to see that at least year 7's up. But most of the times you just see these 1x3 classroom blocks, which I think are even less than $1 million or so. So there isn't that much development. Then if you talk about empowerment, we've moved around the country. The complaints that we are getting is that also there's favoritism in terms of giving out empowerment. Most of those, again, who get the empowerments are those who are affiliated to the party. But should Zambians suffer because they are not affiliated to Democratic Union, because they are not affiliated to UPND, or not affiliated to PF? For me as a Zambian, once you've got a good business plan, wafungo kuchita assist na capital, wakupera ko capital so that you try your luck in business. After all, it's the most of them are not grants, they're actually loans. So why should you be restricted if it's a loan? Yes, I know sometimes they do give them a grants, but let's open up opportunities so that opportunities are for everyone, not only a selected few belong to the party. So one of the issues that government should do is to look at the issue of empowerment. And I've stated before that we need from CEC. My model of even operating the empowerment scheme in CDF is, but I would love that CDF, that money is moved from the local council, from the councils, it is taken to CEC. CEC has got the systems and the process of making sure that those monies can be loaned out and collected. But the councils don't have that capacity. So I'd want it taken to CEC. Then we tweak it that we can find a better way. I would want to see even from CEC itself, there's a huge portion that is allocated to the young people. I would also want to see from CDF. CDF should not be managed within CDF, within the councils. No, I want it to go to CEC so that then there could be proper utilization and monitoring of those resources. It is taken to CEC, but a specific fund set up for the young people. My ambition is that when we help a lot of young people, I've told you that the desire of the Democratic Union and my vision is that as a country, we need to reach a stage where we are going to start exporting solutions. When we start exporting solutions, Bakalunga, Nishtambo, Chita develop hapo. Nishina, we should be proud of ourselves as Zambians. But the exporting solution where the opportunity lies, my young people, my youths. So my youths, we need to give them a lot of capital so that those ideas which they have, they can engage in entrepreneurial activities by setting up my businesses. Then we start seeing innovation rising from the young people. That's why you see most of the time I call for the young people, come to Democratic Union. We want to build a team that is ready for innovation to transform this country. But the desire of the Democratic Union is to transform Zambia, to build what we are calling a new Zambia. So that innovation lies with the young people. So we need to invest a lot. We need to allocate a lot of resources to the young people so that those ideas that they have, they can engage in business activities. Those who are very innovative, we are going to build what we are calling technology and research centers where they can go and research. For me, I'm very big in terms of technology and innovation. Without technology and innovation, there's nowhere where we are going. So we are going to get stuck as a country. We are not going to progress. We've got countries like Rwanda, we've got Kenya, which have really invested a lot in technology. We've seen they are producing their own phones and what. Recently, I'm an aviation engineer. Recently, we saw Tanzania making their own planes. I would love a story for Zambia. I would love something coming out of Zambia, something that we can be proud of as a nation. Right now, there's nothing that we can point at as Zambia and be proud and boast that, yes, we are Zambians, except that we've got a lot of resources that we are not benefiting from. So I want to work with the young people, those who've got great ideas. We work together, and other professionals who can help us shape our country so that we can be proud Zambians. That I'm from Zambia. Not just being proud because KK helped them gain independence, but we want to be proud that we are making these things. Now we are using products from Zambia. This is what we want.
Do you think that is achievable?
That is very achievable. It's very achievable, Kalunga. Some of us have been blessed. We've got quite some good background.
Okay.
I'm an engineer. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm an economist. I'm a global investment analyst as well as an insurance practitioner. So I think the engineering aspect, and also I thank God that I had an opportunity to be a soldier. That has given me an opportunity for discipline and to be very determined. And I don't believe in hurdles. I don't believe that this cannot be done. As a soldier, you have to find a way. You have to find plan B. Plan B. But as we say you have to use initiative to make sure that you achieve your desired goal. So for me, that background of military and aviation has given me, you see, I've got these two disciplines. There's a military one as well as the aviation one. There's a lot of discipline within these two professions. So for me, I want to use that discipline from there. If I can help the Zambians also to be disciplined, I'll be more than glad. And that's one of the things that I want to come and change when I'm given an opportunity to have a disciplined population. If we have a disciplined population, we'll be able to achieve a lot of things in Kalunga. These things, this desire that I have, that I want Zambia to start exporting solution, will be achievable. For me, I'd want also patriotic Zambians. So why do I want patriotic Zambians? If you look at Zambians' resource, I feel there are Zambians who are betraying Zambians. That could be one of the reasons we are not receiving enough benefit from our resources. Yes. So I want patriotic Zambians. When we agree on one thing, tikankale na men's conference, tikakambati, tifuno ipereka Zambia, this is the direction that we want to go. And we are going to agree to work together. When we agree to work together, then nishi development ya yambapo. So we need everyone to be on the same frequency, same frequency, then to agree that we want to take Zambia in this direction. What do we need? The geopolitics have changed the way leadership should work. If you look at the world is becoming hostile, Bakalunga.
Very.
And you saw by US managed to pull out in terms of assistance to the health sector. They are saying now it's business to business, but though they came back that they want to give us ARVs for minerals. So we shouldn't find ourselves in a situation where muntakuzanatin kupase ma ARVs or kupase ma condom, itupase ma minerals. Those are not really a position where we want to be. We've transformed. I think we acquired enough skills as Zambians. We've been exposed, and therefore we need to use our exposure. We need to use that which we have acquired to transform this country. If you look at our health strategy for the Democratic Union, we want to make sure that when we build what we are calling university specialized hospitals, we want to build one in Mongu, want to build one in Livingstone, want to build one in Chipata and Kasama. And we are looking at calling back the specialized surgeons, Zambians, UK, ukuna kwa America. We can't pay them as much as Babali Pirakuja, but we can maybe give them land so that we can give you land, even as we give you a small salary. But what we want is that we want you to come and work for your country. Can you come and work for your country so that we build our health sector? Okay. And also that we want to make sure that we invest a lot in primary health care so that communities can have proper functioning health facilities. So we want that. So there's a lot that we need to do together as Zambians. Okay. So you never hear me that Ackim will come and fix this. No. For me, I'll give you strategies and interventions that I believe will work for this country. Then you assess them, you analyze them. If you are happy, then you come. We work together to say, this is what we will do for this country. But my appeal is to a lot of young Zambians, please take that mature posture. The country depends on you. You young people, the country depends on you. It depends on us. We really need to help this country transform. We've seen our parents, they have done all that they could do. They got at independence, they liberalized the economy. But there's a place where, if you notice, Bakalunga, the Zambia has plateaued right now. There isn't much development that has taken place, I think, from the time maybe Mwanawasa left. There isn't much change that we can talk about. Yeah. Yes, we can talk about a lot of investment in the mining sector. Are we sure, are we honest enough to say, yes, we've seen a lot of investment in the mining sector, but has it benefited us? Yeah. Right now, we don't have resources to build roads. There's no infrastructure development or activity in the country, which means we are constrained. Yeah. So we want young people to really get interested in the leadership of this country so that we help our country. We should be proud the way KK was proud. KK was proud having given this country independence, having contributed. And the one thing that makes me sad, Wakalunga, is that mukalangana maningi to date makamba palinkani ya value addition tulefwa kukwatama value addition industries which we sowed under MMD. So which means they manipulated us. We need clever young people. Young people are clever also. You see, I believe the IMF and World Bank dribbled us during the time they dribbled us by telling us that you don't need to own these plants, and we sold them for a song. Today we are crying that we need those same factories which KK had set up. So we want young people so that quickly we can be able to create an opportunity. From the Democratic Union side is, we are going to declare one province a capital economic zone. Okay. When we declare that province a capital economic zone, what we are trying to do is want to mobilize capital for the manufacturing sector and the processing sector. When we look at our agriculture produce, some of it we're still exporting it in raw form. The minerals, we're still exporting them in raw form. Remember last year in July, the Minister of Finance had issued that statutory, is it number 47, which he allowed the mining companies to export copper concentrate. So I was very upset that time. So we need to ensure that we build enough in this country so that then we add value. But another thing that we need to do is to look at the mining sector. For me, I believe we have received a lot of investment in the actual mining activities. So maybe we need to put a pause to giving licenses to mining activities. We need to give licenses now to processing plants. Those who want to come and invest in manufacturing in the mining sector, we tell them that, okay, we have enough mines. What we need now is value addition. We're not going to give you a license. For me, what we would want to do when we come in as the Democratic Union, of course, we're going to establish our own mines in the public mines. Why do we want to do that? Because we want to promote development in all the 10 provinces. Stifuna development ikazone kachabeku Lusaka na kukopa Belta. Tifuna konse kuma provinces. So we are going to set up what we are calling the Chiefdom Development Fund, so that then we increase development in the chiefdoms as well as in the provinces. Okay. So there will be a lot that we are going to do together as Zambians. But my appeal is to the young people. For me, my vision is that the country should start exporting solutions. And we can't start exporting solutions if we don't invest in technology and innovation. Where is the niche in terms of that technology and innovation? It is with the young people. The young people have to come on board in terms of leadership. Before this proportionate representation and what came on board, us as Democratic Union, we had already decided that we want the young people to come to the table where resources are distributed. So our first point of call is that young people, all district commissioners should be reserved for the young people, so that at the table when the resources are being shared, the young people are there. The women should also be there. So all the provincial ministers, the desire of the Democratic Union is that they are women, so that they are all there, all interests are taken care of. So this is what we want to do. Of course, even the differently abled, numbers. You see, I think there's when we've done an invitation for those who want to apply, we've given percentages to the different groups, genders, also groups that we want them to apply to stand on democratic union. What we really want is to build a new Zambia. We need to transform this country. And for me, I believe that is possible. We've got a number of resources that are available in this country for us to use. I was in the Central Province at some point where I was doing my mobilization. I remember I was interacting with the guys who stay along that Kapiri Road. Yeah, and apparently this guy was from UPND. So I asked them that you waona road mwamene onongekera so mkutipo bwanje ndimo amene imwe ma politician ati manje iwe ndwe ndani because nakuona wavala chan t-shirt ya UPND abwera seka anza tu amdala the veni kamba nvazoona ndimwe muina problem ma politician mwe muri kusogolo because as we even know where the resources are. I can even show you where we've got God in this province, yes. But you leaders are failing to manage these resources. So I was really touched. And there's one statement that makes me want to work hard every day for this country. There's a time the US ambassador visited State House and told off our president that you've got a lot of resources in this country, but you have failed to improve the living standards of your people. So for me, that statement is very big, so touching. I don't know whether it touched the president, but me, it touched me. Okay. So it touched me, and every day I think, I usually say, so we really have failed to use our resources to improve our living standards. If you look at during the rain season, the way how chaotic the compounds are. A few weeks ago, I was in Jack compound, John Lane. Mm-hmm. You see the way the water collected. Yaone kana green manzi na but it's on. This rich country, people are living like this. There's no Zambian who can be given an opportunity by God to lead this country, to help these people. This is very possible. So all these are things I think that touch some of us and give us that motivation to really want to work hard so that we can help our country. Okay. I would love to be amongst those leaders who are going to be on the list of great leaders, not to be a rich president. No, I don't want that. I think I wouldn't want to be known as he was one of Zambia's rich president. No, I would want to be known as one of the leaders who worked selflessly to save this country, to transform it. I want to be on the list of the KKs, the Mandelas. That's my ambition, not to be on the list of rich presidents. No.
Okay. Yeah. We did gather some facts with regards to our topic at this particular moment. So let's listen to this.
Okay.
Did you know that in March, the Zambian cabinet approved a policy to enable businesses, markets, and bus stations to operate 24 hours a day to stimulate economic growth? Did you know that the 24-hour economy concept is also prominent in other African countries such as Ghana? Did you know that the 24 hours economy policy in other countries often involves encouraging businesses to operate 24/7 based on demand and viability rather than forcing all businesses to stay open? Did you know that a successful 24-hour economy requires robust security, consistent power supply, and efficient public transport to support nighttime workers?
So those are some of the facts that we gathered, but we did even go a deep further to talk to the people on what they thought about this. So this is what some people had to say. Okay.
Business is going to be very good, but there is only one challenge that we can be facing. Is security going to be advanced or what? Because crime is going to be advanced again as well. So that's the only challenge, because crime is going to be up. But as for businesses, it's going to be good.
What if my businesses talk about it? You have to wait on customers as many as they can come. So if you have what you go from Sepira, my businesses relate to our phone. In that, we never bomba. People who we are supplying food for them. So you 24 hours, meaning they are sure that it's very, very beneficial for Nina.
Thank you so much.
I think the benefit to the youths is it will help the youths in terms of, you have more time to do a lot. You are not restricted to a certain number of hours. say, if for example, maybe you work or you go to school, you can still, if you run maybe a small business, you can come back from school and continue with the business. So that helps in terms of what? In terms of even the growth of your business. Because you have more sales. You have no pressure where you say, you know, business hours start maybe from 6 to 17 or to 20. It's basically 24 hours. So the choice is yours. You can either sacrifice and work the whole 24 hours, or it will also help in terms of job creation, because now you have shifts. There are people who can work from 8 to 17. You have someone working from 17 up to maybe 6 a.m. the following day. So there is also an opportunity for job creation for the young ones who probably are also going to school and stuff like that. They can get a job opportunity. Yeah, so for me, that's
okay. So that is what the people on the streets had to say in as far as the topic at hand is concerned. But let's also interact with our callers this particular morning. So we do have the Democratic Union president in the studios at this particular morning to discuss the 24-hour economy and some of the benefits that could be realized by young people. And of course, we've discussed quite a number of things on this platform as well. So pick our first cause. You'll be able to also react to what our people in the streets had to say. Good morning to you. Okay, we seem not to have anybody there. 0962870921, 0962870921. That is the number that you are calling this particular morning on Millennium Radio. Aside that, we're also streaming live on our Facebook page, which is a Millennium Radio 90.5 FM. You can drop us a comment there, and then we'll be able to read those comments as they come through this particular morning. So give us that call and then we'll be able to take you in. What did you make of what the people are saying in the streets, first of all?
Yes, I agree with them, but maybe now let's focus on the other issues. I think there's one who raised some concerns, maybe the issue of security. Security is primary. It's very key to ensure that this 24-hour economy works. If there's no security, who would risk their lives to go out and and get killed? So security is very, very important. And we remember some time back the IG had requested that they want to recruit 4,000 police officers for the election. But I think a 24-hour economy will be more demanding in terms of manpower. Then we also talk about surveillance systems. We need to employ a lot of surveillance systems to ensure that our people are safe. And do we have rapid response units that can actually rush to a site in case there's an incident? So there's quite a bit of things that we need to do in terms of preparedness. Is the electricity going to be stable even after the elections? Is the electricity going to be stable even after the elections? Then the issue of security, public transport, is it going to be available? So then what about those who live in these compounds where there are junkies? How are you going to ensure their safety? All those are issues that we need to look at. I hope the Zambia police, even as they made the statement that they are ready, they also looked at that, which means they need to deploy police officers in these compounds to ensure that when people they are coming from work, they go to their homes, they are safe, they are not attacked. So those are issues that we need to look at. So Vaminema Kamba, but it's a good thing. Indeed, it's a good thing, but maybe we are not yet ready. Remember, tinapangako mistake kudala ukutwaisa rashinga ukushita release free education when totally ready ukushita implement. So we had a lot of issues until maybe after 3 years, that's when our children learned to learn in that hostile environment. So even if 24-hour economy, I feel we have announced it prematurely.
We need to be cautious.
Yes, we need to be cautious prematurely. I think we have announced it when the police was not ready, RATSA was not ready. And even ZESCO needs to be talked to seriously to say, are you going to continue? Especially after the elections. Are you going to Mkarashita provide electricity 24 hours? Are you going to manage?
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning to you. Wino Mauka Banje.
Hey, 24, this is Derek, calling within Osaka. 24 hours economy, it's a good idea. But first, there was supposed to be something done before you declare it, in terms of security and everything.
Okay.
Now, nacho concern the maningi. Nkhani yobleza 24 hours ya mabus na trucks. I've been on the road for quite some years. Accidents that happens in the night are more fatal than those of the day. And the reasons are very simple. Number one, our roads are not conducive to drive in the night. Especially these buses, they carry the lives of people.
Okay. Our roads are not what?
Our roads are not fit to be driving, are not mainly fit to be driving in the night.
Okay.
They are very bad roads to drive in the night. 2, artificial light that we use. 3, tiredness. 4, most of the people that drive in the night drive under the influence of alcohol.
Okay.
So, I was of the idea it will be a grave mistake to allow back these guys again. I mean, the public service vehicles to be driving 24/7.
Thank you very much, sir.
That you come back to me.
Thank you. 0962870921, 0962870921 is a number for you to call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Kalunga.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my leader, good morning there.
Good morning, Ndjobvu.
Ni General Chongo calling from Kawe.
Okay.
You have spoken very well about wisdom, because 24/7 economy bakalamba tatufuile ukula kopera kuma developed countries wali abaendelela. Here in Zambia we are still very far, because coming to sanitation, no proper street lights, aerial cabling, even security wise. So twalaipaisha avena Zambia ngefe abafuminepo mukulanda olonama roads, yes, they are not in good shape. So when we are bringing something, we compare kuma countries Zambia develop.
Thank you very much, General Chongo.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll give you time to respond because we are running out of time. Okay. So you can respond to those.
All right, thank you so much. So I am happy that people are talking from a practical experience point of view. So, but Derek is for those good ideas that the issues that you have raised, especially Ishama roads not being fit for night driving. I know there are few roads that are fit for. I think the Livingstone one and partly the Great East one. I'm not sure about the others. At least these ones have got lighting where you can drive actually in the night, which shows you how the road is curving. But most of our roads indeed fairly fit kuenda at night. Then we come but tiredness, then artificial light that are not good enough for us to drive in the night. So maybe these are concerns that RATSA should look at before they give government their position. If RATSA really comes up with a report, let them be open, not maybe to favor the 24-hour economy, but let them speak to reality. Bakambecha zone so that watandize government got still ready tingaichite delay 24-hour economy and tutankara ready to prepare my roads, lighting, Mamvela lighting is very important. Yes, lighting in the road. So it is very, very important. So thank you so much, Vandani, Derek, you are saying we are not yet prepared. Now, General Chongo na Vamene, I think he repeated what Derek said. Then wakamba tosat kukopela chabe veva chita kuma developed countries mukopela mufuno leta kuno when you know that you are not ready. So it is very important that the government in this Vamvela paying attention kuma concerns yemeba raising ama citizens. Okay. Maybe they might think that I'm politicking, but Mwamvela veva kamba wa Derek na wa General Chongo. These are very, very important points, and thank you so much for calling. Okay,
I wanna as we wrap up and as you conclude, I want you to respond to this one as well. Harold Raymond on our Facebook says, "Good morning, Millennium Radio. My contribution is that the man can lift Zambia with his opinions and ideas, and they are very good ideas, but can't he work with Brad Mundwele?" That's a question from Facebook. And as you conclude this particular morning.
Thank you so much, Raymond. I think we are open to work with anyone as long as they are positive-minded and they mean well for the country. That's what I can say. Okay. For anyone who wants to work for the country, for anyone who is primary focused to develop our country, I'm ready to work with them. Yes, I'm ready to work even under them.
Okay.
As long as their primary focus is to develop this country. Chamene sinifuna ni muntu amaza kabwela kwambo gwira chabe bantu hivyo sinivifuna. Nifuna somebody who will be more focused on the country, because we waste a lot of time in arresting, persecuting people. I don't want a president who is going to have a lot of political interference with my law enforcement agencies. You are wasting a lot of time. Instead of addressing the challenges you are facing as Zambians, you pass some instruction. Why are you not focusing on the issues of the country, the challenges? Because when people vote for us, what you vote because wakambatitina ma problem is it funa muntu otitandiza. Manje wakupeleka ku state house kuja wampopasa ma instruction kagwirenu you yosa mgwira chanchani ni you are betraying the Zambians. So we want somebody who is going to focus on the country's development, not to be mingling, meddling in the operations of these law enforcement agencies. Because the law enforcement agencies have got qualified people and they understand the law. If you look at our police service, I believe they are very professional. They know what they are doing. The anti-corruption, they know what they are doing. DEC knows what they are doing. OP, they know what they are doing. What we need is just to motivate them and be able to fund them.
Many thanks, Mr. Ndjobvu, for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right. This is where we call it a wrap. Good morning.
Move,